Good afternoon. I'm going to try and show you how to play Bach's Prelude in C major, using 4 mallets. And first off, it starts with the grip, and my recommendation for this piece is that you use the kind of grip where you're holding one mallet with your thumb and first 2 fingers, and you hold the second mallet with your ring finger and pinky, like this. Here's what it looks like up close. First mallet, thumb, pointer finger, middle finger. Notice how it sits, base sits right here in the pocket. Second mallet. And that's controlled with just these 2 fingers. Now you can have a pretty good range of motion. Mostly it's the thumb and pointer finger that moves. Notice you can play, in the second measure you have to play 2 notes right next door to each other, and that's where this comes in handy. When you're doing this kind of like a ripple chord, you're going to be rotating your wrist to play the lower note and then the higher note. Boom, 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 boom. In Bach's Prelude in C major, there are 5 notes in the pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And since you only have 4 mallets, you're going to have to double one of them. I've chosen to double the second and third, so you'll play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5. I suppose you could also double 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That requires you to double this twice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5. And doubling 2 and 3, that helps here. Now what you're going to want to do is take it nice and slow and methodical, and maybe a place to start is just to look at the first 2 notes and then the 4th and 5th note. The first 2 notes of the first measure are C and E, and the 4th and 5th notes are another C and E. So rather than playing leaving out that middle note, let's just play 4 quarter notes. Now let's figure out the second measure. Third measure. 4th measure just like the first. 5th. This kind of helps figure out where the mallets are going to start and where they're going to end, and it also gives you an idea about what notes change from measure to measure. Then the next step, put it together. And there you get the idea. Notice once again, you're rotating. Rotate left, right, right, left, right, left, right, right. Boom, 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 boom. And I think that's the pattern that's going to get you through. Figure it out a few measures at a time, and then go back and get those measures going. Don't try and play all the way through both pages of this thing and then go back and hope that you remember what the first 2 measures were like. Figure it out a couple measures at a time, get used to the changes, from measure to measure, and then start to put, instead of 2 measures together at a time, 4 measures together at a time. So the first measure and the second measure, let's put it together. Now let's figure out all 5 notes. Second measure. And after you get that, then we'll start speeding up. And keep going and going, and then take the next couple of measures. This is measure 3, and measure 4. And notice the motion of the mallets there. We go from a B and D down here, and a D and F up here. Then they move 1 note closer together, so you're playing C and E in both hands. So, measures 3 and 4, now adding that double sticking in there. And then work to speed it up. Then the next step is putting the first 4 measures together. And if you practice 2 measures and then another 2 measures, you might have a little bit of a problem going from the first chunk to the second chunk. So just kind of practice that. Practice measures 2 and 3. Measure 2. Measure 3. And notice from measure 2 to measure 3, here's measure 2, here's measure 3. The only note that changes is the C in measure 2, first note, moves down to a B in measure 3. And then this double stick note is an A in measure 2, and it moves down to a G. So in measure 2, where you have, in measure 4 you have, so look for those sames and differences in just your left hand and just your right hand, so that you'll be able to smoothly transition from measure to measure. That's all I have for you. I wish you luck. Happy practicing.